Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear. Long story. Do you ever worry about that when you give, like, somebody has your, are you worried when somebody has your phone or your laptop? Are you like, oh boy, what are they doing?
Oh, maybe like a few years ago when I was in my more wild times.
In my wilder days.
My wilder days, but now I'm just like, well, no.
That's usually just how you can tell whether you're in a good relationship
shady,
or not,
yeah.
right? Is like if you open, I just got to update my cover page, but my iPad won't open the file.
That makes me sound shady though, because I take my phone with me everywhere. Like I know people like you should be able to leave it by your partner, but I take my phone everywhere. So every time I do that in my head, I'm so crazy. Like if Adam's there, I'm like picking up the phone. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna think I'm cheating because I'm taking my phone with me, but I'm not. I just wanted to go have my phone on me at all times because I'm mentally attached to it.
Well, phones not so much because phones are just lock and it's like I'm you know. But laptops are a different story. If you're like, you know, if you need to borrow your partner's like iPad or laptop, like if you need to borrow that, like I just need to do something on there, and then they don't leave the room. They're like, "What are you almost done?" Because I also have work to do. I'm also, you know I'm a welder and I do most of my work there, but I also need to do some online welding work. I have an online welding festival tonight, so I need you to be off of my laptop in 4 minutes.
That is very true. That is like, I'll
update it for you.
If you can't leave the room when someone's on your laptop, there's something going down with you.
If they're like, no, I'll do it. Let's do it together. Why don't we both sit here and update your cover fucking page for your resume? This
is like nothing to do with what we're talking about, but the laptop triggered me. One time I walked in, like I was like at a boyfriend's house, and his dad was at the kitchen table watching porn. I walked
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like jerking off or standing
No, just watching it.
Who the fuck watches porn?
I think older men do. I think older men, because they're used to magazines.
And you're like, I can't jerk off every time I get horny.
Yeah, it's
That's too much fucking pressure.
I just want a minimal of. I just want to feel a tingle. So I'm gonna sit and watch.
Like if I come and cry on the same day, I'll have a stroke.
But I just remember walking in, and I was like, I saw, and I. You would have thought he would have heard the door too, like, and he didn't go. And I was just like, I walked in and I saw like.
So did you just like announce your presence?
Like, and then I just walked by. Like I did not make eye.
No, you just kind of like, what are you doing? Because how you doing? What are you doing? There's no question that you can ask that isn't like weird.
Yeah.
How are you doing? What have you been up to? How are you? What are you watching there? What's that sound? Is that a girl doing something?
Oh my God.
And it was just like unmistakable porn noises. So he had it cranked.
Because the person that whose parents this will know. I don't think anybody else will, but if they actually listen to this, they will know. Because his mom would always listen to like romance novels out loud. Yeah. Or she got headphones. But like I'd walk in and she'd be listening to a romance novel and be like, and then he unbuttoned her milky breasts and unleashed his snake upon her field or something.
Yeah.
And it was like so funny. I hope that the person whose parents is listening to this, because he will laugh at it. Like he will think it's funny. But I don't that's the only. And because this is not about my father-in-law either, which, but like
an old boyfriend. I
know it is an old boyfriend. Please.
Way old.
Yeah.
No, Adam's dad doesn't masturbate or watch pornography.
My God. I just like, have you ever caught your dad looking at porn or anything weird?
No, I never did actually.
It's not weird.
I never did actually. No, he must have been like a road jerker or something.
Yeah.
Because he'd go on like sales trips.
Yeah.
And he must have been like saving it all up for the road.
Yeah.
You know, all that hotel lotion.
Can I tell you a personal embarrassing parent story of a friend of mine? Then you'll know who it is, but I don't want to use her name. But she messaged me yesterday and she's like, I'm traumatized because I went upstairs and found my son in the living room and he's just like sitting there being all quiet. And then she was like, are you okay? And he kind of was just like, Mom, can I ask you something?
Oh, no.
And then she's like, yeah. And he pulled her vibrator out of his pocket. And he's like, what's this?
What does this go? What door does this open?
So then she was like, oh, that's just like a massager.
Oh,
like,
that's a key for
like,
the
so it's for your
shed.
neck or for your arm.
That's a grandma's excuse.
But then she took the vibrator and put it on his arm, and she's like this.
And it was a spinning cock.
And no, this is the best part. And then she said, and then he kind of was like, cringe. So then I realized he knew that it was a vibrator and it wasn't a massage thing, and he knew what it was for. So then she had to have a whole sex talk with this kid.
Oh boy.
Like, this is why I don't have kids. Like, the sex talk.
That's the worst way to go into a birds and bees thing, because it probably wasn't a birds and bees thing. It was like, sometimes mommies and daddies, and you're like, yeah, I know all that shit. Well, also sometimes mommies by themselves, more often actually, mommies by themselves will shove shit inside their own pussy. And sometimes guys alone, more often than with other girls, are just coming all over their own stomachs.
Have you had the sex talk with your kids? You had to have. They're old enough.
No, we just let the school system take care of it.
Oh my God,
we
Sean.
really did. We just let the school system.
They never asked you anything at all, and you've never been like, okay.
No, because it's just no need to talk about it.
Oh, your kids are gonna be so
What is there
fucked.
to fucking know? It's not complicated. It's like, do you know the big thing? Yes. Okay, then that's the rest of it's peanuts. The rest of it's nothing. You're
going to end up with like a teenage father, because they're going to...
Like, as if they're going to be like, I knew what you were supposed to do, but I didn't know that could happen. I know why I exist, and I know what you had to do to make me exist, but I didn't think my thing could do it. They're not that dumb. They're going to figure it out.
I don't think that I had a sex talk with my parents, because... my parents, this is what happened. I was like, what was our sex talk? It was my dad putting down a copy of The Joy of Sex in front of me and my brother.
The Joy of Sex.
If you have any questions, this is all the answers for you guys.
That was super progressive for an 80s dad. To tell his daughter that sex could be joyous? How many dads would tell their daughter, who's fucking 12, that sex can be fun for you also? In fact, more so because of your ability to orgasm multiple times. Who the fuck does that? No dads in the 80s. He was a Buddhist even then.
This is like,
he was always a Buddhist.
Am I exaggerating? But I don't think I am, because they had that book, and then they had this other sex book that I think we just found one day. So we started, like, I'd have friends over and we'd all like look through it and be like, like a picture of like a dick that looked just like all snuffle up. Like, it was horrifying. Like, it was too.
Oh yeah, because that would have been your first sort of uncircumcised penis experience. Where you'd only seen circumcised penises like whenever they showed videos at school.
Oh yeah, like
circumcised. So then you see this porn mag, and it's the first time where you're like,
what's wrong with that thing?
What the fuck is wrong with that weird dick with skin all over it? Get a skin cut.
It looks like it's a balloon on the end.
Cock hippie.
If I squeeze it, does it go?
Yeah, it seems like you shouldn't touch it. And then there's something about the pink part where you realize it should be touching air. You know what I mean? You're like, that. I'm glad that we get circumcised, because the pink part is too weird and pink.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, there are people like uncircumcised and proud. I'm like, well, you're the only one.
Yeah.
But I don't think
some girls prefer it, right? Lisa Baker prefers it.
Uncircumcised?
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, give me, whatever.
Lisa Baker's a whore.
She's fucking, she's so hard.
Nobody prefers foreskin, please.
She says she does.
Oh, Lisa.
That's what maybe she can call us up and say she can do a TikTok rebuttal video.
Should I call Lisa right now and ask her?
She can do a TikTok rebuttal video that gets 1 million views, while our little podcast that she responded to.
Should I call her right now?
She would, not right now. Like, she would probably be like, I'm not even making a rebuttal video. I'm not even doing a react video for a 200 downloads podcast.
I should call her right now and ask her, do you really like foreskin better?
Text her and see.
I'm going to call her.
Call her.
Texting.
Okay.
I want to hear her reaction, because Lisa's got a great voice.
Okay, well, if I'm wrong, then I swear to God, I've heard her say.
I hope you're not slut-shaming Lisa.
Well, I'm not slut-shaming Lisa. I'm just saying what she prefers. Don't call her in the middle of a podcast
to
ask what kind of dick she likes.
This might be a new bit for us.
Where we call people and say, what kind of cock do you prefer?
She might not even answer.
It's you. She will.
I don't know. Hopefully this records well. This is exciting.
It is kind of exciting because you don't know what's going to happen. She might be making like Newfie dinner or whatever.
Newfie dinner.
When do people from Newfoundland eat? It's probably odd times, like, oh, we call it We called. Well, you guys are eating dinner at 5. We eat it at 3 in the morning.
You have reached the voicemail box of Lisa Baker.
Oh, that was interesting.
She has one of those ones set up.
To leave a message,
we'll leave a message.
Okay.
If you want to leave your number only, press 1.
Okay, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
I was hoping you would answer because I wanted to know if it's true that you prefer an uncircumcised penis to a regular penis. I guess regular is an politically incorrect term, but you must be making TikToks or something, so you can't answer.
Tell her that Jim Kerr said.
Jim Kerr told me that you said that. Actually, no, it was Sean. We're recording this for the podcast, so call us back if you.
We're just talking about. It wasn't about Lisa. It was just about penises, and you saying nobody prefers a circumcised penis.
And then you said
like,
Lisa Baker does. Okay, I'm going to hang up on this message.
Oh, she'll love that. That'll go down well. Yeah, right after you eat pierogies
awesome
and
person.
I don't think she'll care.
No, she won't. She's the greatest. She was at my wedding in the backyard calling my brother a fat cunt. She's not allowed to get offended.
I guess you're right.
I love her.
Yeah. Did he like that?
He was laughing his ass off. Really? Everyone did.
How does she get away with that? How the fuck does that happen?
Because she makes it fun. And you can tell she's
But she doesn't always make it fun. Sometimes she's like, no, I'm dead serious, you fucking loser.
Then don't get on the bad side of Lisa Baker.
Yeah, but that's a tyrannical regime, Kathleen. I think if I could live under tyranny to not get on. Like she's Vladimir Putin. Don't get on our bad side. Any updates in the war in Ukraine? Men
are going back to the Ukraine.
Well, men between the ages of 18 and 60 have to stay.
They have to stay, but there's people coming back that were living in other countries that are like, I'm going to go fight.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. Like, how far back do you go? I don't know.
Do you think there's any Ukrainian
for the place my parents came from?
Yeah, do you think there's any boys in the rural Alberta that are like, I got to go fight for Ukraine? Because it's a very big Ukrainian population out here.
But I mean, you can still keep the clothes, dude. Like, they're not, Putin's not coming over here to burn your weird robes. Because they have dumb clothes. There's no doubt about it. They're great people and they're great warriors and stuff.
They're so colorful. They're great warriors.
God. They're wonderful little warriors. The Ukrainian people. I thought it was fun. Oh, it's always funny when men between the ages of 18 and 60 are like, they have to stay and fight. And I didn't hear a single feminist uproar.
I said this last episode that I'm not going to war because that's when feminism kicks in for me.
I know. Yeah, there was almost no response in terms of Twitter saying, women? You think women can't fight in a fucking war? Only men are tough enough to fight in the streets? You fucking misogynist pigs. And then they go, okay, girls have to stay too and fight to the death.
No.
Finally, they caved in to the left-wing mob.
That'd be funny if
made girls stay and fight to their own
If that's when they started we will start believing in feminism, but you got to come and die with us.
Yeah, you got to get
It is interesting how we want to be equal except for when it's being called to war.
Yeah, or who gets on the boat first.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there's no true equality until men get on the boat at the same time as women.
I feel though that we've dealt with enough that we should get to keep some of those antiquated things, the good antiquated ones with the.
Yeah, those ones are good. You get. We to keep
should
those.
be able
Absolutely.
to keep some of those.
Absolutely.
Come on,
you get to keep some.
We should be able to live first before you
get on. Yeah,
you're still making more money than us. I don't see that changing anytime
And we should
soon.
lay our jacket down for you to walk in a puddle or whatever. Because
I don't know. We don't need that
your clothing
one.
is too expensive to be put in a puddle.
No, we don't need that one. We're good on that. We just want to not go to war, and we want to be the first on the boat. And I think that's just about it. Because we put up with enough that we should at least be able to keep those.
No, you're totally entitled to that.
Yeah.
So what was the sex talk like? What did she have to say about a vibrator?
I can't remember exactly what she said. She sent me anyway. Because she was like, I can't text this to you. So she filmed a video of herself telling me the story. I was like, oh my God. It was so funny.
I don't want to tell you.
I can't. He did say something, and she had to. Oh no, that's perfectly normal. It's okay. I think but I don't know what the question. I can't remember what it was. I think, that's. I'm just trying to think of this is what I thought when I heard that story. Though I'm like, if I was her child, I would not have I would have just put the vibrator back and be like, I know what that is. I don't want to have this talk because I was mortified. I used to listen to the Sunday night sex show under the covers with my headphones and my Sony Walkman because I didn't want my parents to know that I.
The good news about that conversation is it means this kid's gonna tell me everything.
Yeah.
this kid ain't keeping a fucking secret.
That is a good
ever.
thing. I'm going to tell her that's a very positive thing.
Whatever happens to that kid, he's going to fucking tell you.
Yeah.
He's got a thing you shove in your pussy in his hand.
In his pocket. He had it in his
and he's just like,
he pulled it out.
What is it, son? He even has an opportunity to be like, this isn't happening. And then, put it down his jacket.
Yeah.
Nothing, Mom, bye. Like, he had the opportunity. Like, she was, what is that you're holding? And he was like, all right, let's do this. Let's have this conversation with my mom. See, it's a massager, but like puts it on his arm, and he's like, oh my fucking God. That's hilarious. He's like, I wonder how often she cleans this. I'm sure a lot. Yeah, that would be a weird conversation to have with a child where you're rubbing a thing. Because my grandmother did that with her thing she put in herself.
Your grandma had one?
Yeah, but she preemptively, I've talked about it on the podcast before, where she like preemptively told us before she died that this is a back scratching thing.
So if you're digging through my drawers. And then
I was like, that actually looks like a thing that is the only thing you could touch with an itchy back that would make it itchier. a spinning, smooth thing. Like, that itch I had? It's worse because I touched it with this fucking thing. But back then they were just like, it just looked like a little weird... it wasn't very
massager.
Yeah, so I mean your friend couldn't really get away with it because they look so much like dicks now.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't look like a massager thing. Yeah, no, I don't. I was very happy that when my mom passed away, I didn't find any sex toys. That was like
really,
that was a win for me.
She was a hand worker.
I guess so.
She was a handy woman.
She was a very she was
handy.
She would do it herself. She didn't need no machine. She didn't need no man. She didn't need no machine.
Exactly. I don't need a man. I don't need a fucking machine. I don't need your batteries.
That was Wendy McGee.
I got 2 fingers and they're still working fine. The carpal tunnel hasn't taken complete hold of my system, and I'm on codeine.
It was a little sad that they didn't find them either, though, because I'm like, oh, my mom was boring. But you're right. She probably was a hand
She wasn't
worker.
Like never touching herself. She was
because
like,
my mom ordered everything online. Like she shopped online, so she would have had a ton of sex toys if she wanted them.
To buy cheap sex toys. Mm-hmm. She would have been getting ads for them constantly, because she'd be clicking on stuff. I won $18. Click, click. And then vibrator ads coming at her left and right. Her fucking, she probably had as soon as she opened her laptop, 9 fucking vibrators popped up, and she had to click X on all of them. Click, 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 click. Oh fuck! I forgot. I thought I was on the X, but I was on the open the page part. They put a fake X in the middle of the screen, and I touched it.
Wherever Wendy McGee is right now, she's just sitting there like, oh, Kathleen, I don't like when Sean talks that way about my pussy.
Yeah, I guess I did. I don't know if I called it that in regard.
Look how embarrassed he is when I talk about my mom's, I say my mom's pussy, but you can talk about her fisting her pussy.
Hey, I just said she was a handy worker. She was a tree planter. She was out there with her gardening gloves on.
Oh my God.
She probably did do it with her gardening gloves on. Her inside gardening. Did you find any gardening gloves in there? No. You didn't find any gloves with little fucking nubs on them, sandpaper on the fingertips? Oh, gross. That would be a gross way to masturbate.
Did any of your friends have MILFs?
Sure. Yeah,
when you were in high school?
Yeah, there was definitely some for sure where you're like, what the fuck? And they always were in the richer area of town.
Of course, yeah.
So you were able to make a connection pretty early. Like, you guys live on the other side of the river? And then you could just guess by the mom. Be like, you'd look at the mom and go, oh, you guys must live in the new part of town.
That's so mean and funny.
Well, but in the 80s and 90s, it was true. It was like the rich loser, the rich fucking loser. We lived like cave people back then.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, I guess I'll go with that guy. And whenever you did small town comedy, you were like, you'd see hot girl with average dude or way below average. Yeah. And you're like, there ain't no way that guy's broke. There ain't no fucking way he's broke.
He's probably a farmer.
Maybe. Farmers make a lot of money. Did they get rich?
Quite a few farmers are quite wealthy.
They don't talk about it, do they?
No, they don't.
Those fucking guys that keep it under their hat.
They don't want the rest of us to know.
There's never. You're right. You never see any sort of rapper farmer guy who's just fucking look at all this fucking money, look at all this land, and fucking throwing wheat in the air.
There is a rapper I don't know which one I saw it on Instagram. He bought a farm and he got a cow and they were like, he was like, that's my cow. And it was the best ever. Fuck, I don't remember which rapper it was.
And real farmers are like, you think you can turn the profit with one animal?
I want a hobby farm so bad.
Hobby farm.
Yeah, where you just have pets.
Yeah. Well, you just got to get rich.
I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be kind of nice if you were rich.
We stopped buying lottery tickets because we lost
It's
our
over.
faith.
Yeah, we just realized. I told a lady at Tim Hortons today that worked there. She was like, "Oh, you should, because whenever you do something that's sort of weirdly lucky, they're like, you should go to the casino."
Yeah.
My order came to $7.77, and she was like, "You should go to the casino," and I'm like, "I don't think that's what that means."
You just made that lady have a bad day.
No, I just said, like, I don't know if 3 7s in a row on a purchase like this is, I don't think I'm going to win any money at the casino. And she's like, oh, I like to go to the casino. I'm like, don't go. I'm like, if they had I'm like, let me tell you something. If they had bells that went off every time somebody lost, you wouldn't be able to hear a word.
That's so true.
Like, you wouldn't be able to hear a word in that building.
Oh my God.
You'd be in there just like, what? I said, do you want another drink? I can't hear you all over all these losing bells. Because they're just going off nonstop. Yeah. And I told her that, and she was just like, yeah, I guess so.
You did make that lady have a bad day. I mean, you did saved her from a gambling addiction, but also she was just trying to be nice and cheerful.
Yeah, she was just trying to like
and
get
Captain
through.
Depresso over here is like, well, actually, if you do use that, your brain will explode and you'll die.
She was just like, look, dude, this is part of the gig. Sometimes it's 4:44, sometimes it's 11:11. I tell them all to fucking go to the casino. You're the first person who's been like, well, actually, you shouldn't go to the casino because you lose. And thanks, Einstein. I didn't know that the odds were stacked against us at a fucking giant building.
That was the worst part about working at Starbucks, was that part of it was like, if you were working drinks or something and you were just like making a drink, you always had to engage with the customer. Hi, how's your day? What are you up to? And I fucking hated doing that. And I never did. I always got in trouble because I'm like, I'm just going to talk to all these people. I'm making their fucking $7 drink and they can leave. I don't need to have a chit chat with them.
No, I was the same way at McDonald's. I was like, I'm taking your order. What do you need?
Yeah, I'm not.
And if they were like, well, it's a sunny one out there, I'd just be like, it is a sunny one. What?
Like, why do I have to
are
make
we
you
talking
feel
about here?
Special. You just spent like a bunch of money on a coffee. You're good. You're living a good life. Like, you're fine.
Talk to somebody else.
Make you feel the customer feels special. Customer service in the 80s
fucking
and
assembly
90s
line
was
here.
awful.
This should be like an assembly line job where you are a thing that I'm putting a plastic thing on.
Yeah.
You're not a human being. I don't need to fucking, if I was working at a warehouse, I would, every time something came by me like, hey, how's it going? Little piece of metal. Like, I don't talk to that thing. I'm not talking to you. You're nothing. You're a thing that buys a thing. I don't need to fucking be. If Starbucks wants your money, they can talk to you. Call head office at Starbucks and have a conversation with one of the millionaires.
I'm making $11 an hour. Leave me alone.
I don't need to. Well, there was a lady at the show on Sunday. Was that last night? No. That was 2 nights ago. And at some point during one of my jokes, she was just like, yeah, it's like Albert Einstein said, trust the street kids.
What?
Or something. And I was like, I don't know if did Einstein say that? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if he did. I don't know. Like, I know there were street kids back then, but I don't know if Einstein would have said trust them, because they're always like trying to grab his money. And as soon as he's on the streets, they're like trying to fucking grab his pants. And he's like, trust the street. I don't think he would have said that. I don't think. And then she's like, no, it's true. And I'm like, do you think that Sir Isaac Newton ever said holla, holla, holla? And she's like, I don't know. But yeah,
where was this show?
The Cosmic Trip. At the West Edmonton Mall location.
Yeah, you get weird audiences at that
Rick
location.
Bronson's House of Horrors. It's very scary in my comedy club. The payment for headliners is very scary. Sometimes the turnout is frightening. Yeah, put your hand in this fucking bucket of worms. Where's my money? Inside this bucket of worms. I don't want to put my hand in it. Welcome to Rick Bronson's. No, it's a fun club. You know, people, I don't know.
I'm never going to not be able to call it Rick Bronson's House of Horrors.
Ricky Bree. Ricky B. No, it's a fun place.
It is a fun place. We love it. But yeah.
What's your least favorite comedy club? Which one do you hate the most?
That's still open?
Yeah, that's maybe, or it doesn't have to be. Alive or dead.
Well, Abbotsford Yuck Yucks was one of the worst.
Abbotsford Yuck Yucks, yeah. That was the only place where they ever like actually tried to rip me off.
Yeah, that was like, it was just, and it was so crazy because the first like few months it was open. It was so awesome. It was upstairs. It was a great room. It was packed every time. You had 5 shows, I think. You did a ton of stuff. They like paid for everything. The only thing they didn't do is if you were from Vancouver, they didn't give you a hotel. They're like, but they're like, get drunk. I'm like, well, I got to drive back because you're not getting a hotel.
And comedians like should never complain about like money stuff in terms of getting paid because that's the only time I've ever been ripped off.
Yeah.
That was it. Every other time, I've done shows where I fucking ate just a chocolate bar of shit right out of the wrapper. Just bomb right from the fucking... Still had it all over your
fingers.
And I still got the check. Like every single... It was like, holy fuck, they still paid?
Yeah.
There was, I think there was one time where I was sick and I did 10 minutes and then said, I must leave or something. Like
you pulled a Kathleen.
Like, I must go.
So could the MC please come back to the stage?
I just said I must go or something like, and now it's time for me to leave 50 minutes before I'm supposed to. And even then, they were like, well, we'll have to figure something out or something. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And they're like, I'll just give you half. Like, okay, and that'll work. You know, but basically I went up there like fucking just white as a ghost from the flu.
Oh, my God.
Said nothing of any value. No one laughed.
And then I said,
half. I have to puke. I got to go. And they were like, I guess we'll give you half. So
well, booking the Grindstone Fest and finding out how much comics are charging is making me want to kill myself.
Yeah, those are big numbers.
Well, it's like, as soon as you hit like something, you can just start being like, no, I don't come for less than $20,000. I'm like, and I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit, there's comics that make $20,000.
Yeah, but I don't. You know who I want to be there for? Like, is all the time somebody's like, I'm gonna get Kevin Hart. I'm gonna get that guy. Like they're just like, I'm gonna get fucking Maria Bamford. I'm gonna get Sarah Silverman. Hey, you know who'd be funny is that Sarah lady from Jewish World. How much is she? And then they get an email from their management because their management will get back to anybody.
Oh yeah.
If anybody's like, hello, I'm having a party. We're having a fundraiser. We're doing a do. It's a corporate event. I have a show. So think about how many times like somebody who has no idea what comedians get paid.
Yeah.
Only knows the material about how none of them have money.
Yeah.
Assumes like, well, Silverman, she's got a few bucks.
Yeah.
But I don't wonder what she is. And then they get an email back from some lady from Los Angeles who's like, you know, it would be $75,000. How much does your venue hold?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what? $75,000. They just wouldn't be able to compute that like. No. Maria Bamford, well, she's an indie juggernaut. I bet she's cheap. Like, no, it's probably like 20 grand. They're like,
I just was like, I just personally, I'm just sitting there thinking like, oh my God, can you imagine making 20 grand a weekend? And like, you would have to work. You could work the whole year and make a fortune, or you could work like once a month and great.
That outdoor fucking show that I did. You know, I knew some of the numbers, and it was like
20s, 30s.
Some of them were like $60,000 for like 20 minutes. Or
I want to
puke.
Right? Oh my God, I want to puke.
You're not headlining, but you're getting major cake.
Fuck.
But I mean, if you sell tickets,
those comics sold their soul to the devil. I guarantee you they did.
They're just good enough to get a following.
No, there's a reason that those anybody's famous because of luck. And you cannot ever tell me anything different. It's mostly all because of luck, because you got something at a time and it just worked. And like, I swear to God, anybody that gets famous and successful has sold their soul to the devil. You had to make your life so fucking crazy awesome.
Yeah, we'll be there in hell next to them.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, well, at least I was rich for a while.
and
you're like, yeah, I guess when you think about it. Here we are 1 million years into our stint in hell, and I still can't stop thinking about the first 70 that also sucked. Well, you lived in a fucking mansion, Nikki Glazer, getting prodded by the same demon.
It's just
in the showbiz hell.
It's just as crazy to me, like what some people make to do things that are not everybody could do, but you and I are capable of making $60,000 a month.
How?
By luck. Something might happen and like you're suddenly famous. And
the only way that we could make $60,000 a week is if we started a fake Ukrainian GoFundMe right now. Where we talked about we're raising money to get girls into battle. Because they said only the men could stay.
Because it's time for ladies to go to war.
Only the men have to stay,
because they say we're too unstable
for war. So this GoFundMe is to raise money to hire a lawyer to get women to have to also stay.
But then you guys are like, this is what happened. You'd be like, hey, women can come to war, but you have to fight in pink. You have to wear pink uniforms, and you have to be in pink tanks.
Yes.
Just so no, because everything that's a girl's pen, it's pink. That's a lady razor, it's pink.
Did you like pink when you were a girl though?
Yeah, I did because I was told to.
I think you might have just liked it.
I mean, I liked it, but like you're also
because you're the kind of girl that would be like, I don't fucking like pink.
I liked pink. Like I liked pinks and purples. I liked girly things. Yeah. But yeah, no, like, but you're told to when you're a girl. Like when you're a girl in the 80s, you're dressed in all pink all the time, and when you're a boy, you're dressed in all blue all the time, so that
you're going to a funeral for an adult you'd never met, and you're like, why am I still in pink?
Yeah.
Like, because that's what girls wear when they're mourning. Girls don't change colors. Girls smile. Girls smile and wear pink. Go to the funeral, smile and wear. Why aren't you smiling? You should smile more at this funeral. What's with your dour approach to this funeral, young lady? Put a smile on your face.
Did you get dragged to funerals as a kid?
No.
I did.
You did? No, I didn't. No.
I saw so many dead bodies when I was a kid.
Oh, boy.
Because it would be my mom's Ukrainian aunts or uncles, and they'd always have a huge funeral. And like I went to Park Memorial a lot, we'd have to walk. You have to walk by the casket as you're leaving, but it's open, and you're just like, I've seen a lot of dead people, and it is weird.
Yeah, they're usually old, so that's not as striking.
Yeah,
right?
I've never seen a young dead person. No. Thank God. I don't want to, but yeah, it was always like my old like great aunts and uncles' funerals. I remember once we went to one and they had like this incense.
And you're not Ukrainian though, right?
Yeah,
you are fully Ukrainian.
Not like my mom's side is Ukrainian Polish.
What's her last name?
Yurchuk.
Yurchuk. Fuck yeah.
And we also have Zatorsky and Nikifork.
Zatorsky and what?
Nikifork. Kathleen Nikifork.
That is awesome.
Yeah. No,
Don't say that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So you got the Nikiforks,
Zatorskys, and Yurchuks.
So you're fully Ukrainian on one half. What's your dad?
He's like Irish, British.
Yeah, that classic colonialist.
Yeah.
He's a colonial man.
Yeah.
But he's pretty far away. He's strayed quite far. He's a Buddhist who wants his daughter to enjoy fucking. Well, that worked out fine.
I never even thought of it that way. My dad just wants the joy of sex is quite a funny thing to give your kids.
Your daughter? Yeah, like most dads are like, oh, nobody's putting it near her. Like she needs to know the brass tacks, the mechanical nature of it. It's in, it's out, it's a machine. 2 machines are touching at night. That's all she needs to know. Nothing about how it might feel good. It's like when they tell you not to do drugs and like, don't do drugs. It's awful. It's the worst. Look at this person. He's disheveled.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, it's just you're just disheveled. Like you just do drugs and then you don't have hair.
Fall apart.
Yeah, just as soon as you smoke shit, your teeth turn garbage.
Yeah.
You're just like, and then you do it and you're like, I look fine and I feel fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
I still look fine and I feel fantastic. Wow, everybody was wrong about that.
That was like the first time I ever got drunk because I was so scared to get drunk because I'm an emetophobe. Like I hate barfing of any kind.
Oh,
like,
you even know the word. That's how.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like, I have a phobia of puking. I need to find the real word for that so that I'm not always saying puke. Because that makes me think about puking. Oh my
God, stop
it. You had to find the other word because the word puke makes you think about puking. So you're not even just puke phobic, you don't like the word.
Oh my God, Eugene puked under my bed.
Cancel culture, McGee.
Eugene puked under my bed today, and I thought he was dying because he was just like going, and then he just belched. I didn't know that dogs belch. Yeah. But I was like so worried he was dying. But
yeah,
anyway.
That's one. Yeah, you're kind of like, is he puking? But then you hear it land, and you're like, oh, that's that vomit landing noise. Yeah, that's there.
Yeah,
that's happening.
So I was afraid to.
What's the real word for it? What's the medical term? Metaphobe.
Emetophobe. Like
emetophobe. Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I was scared to drink because I saw that episode of Degrassi where Stephanie K gets drunk and pukes, and I'm like, okay, so you puke if you drink, like automatically you puke. There's you just have to prepare yourself to puke if you drink. So the first time I ever got drunk, I'm like, well, if I'm getting drunk, I'm getting drunk, right? I drank a whole 2.6 of vodka. And I never puked or anything. I woke up the next day and I was like, I was waiting for the puke. I was sitting there like, when do you have to puke in the morning? Because that's all I heard. You
must have felt bad though, didn't you?
No, because I kept drink. I didn't get hangovers until like my mid-30s. Honestly,
those Irish Ukrainians.
I had great like
drinking
alcohol.
genes.
Oh, I had great drinking genes. But that's the thing is like that was why it was so bad, because I never had consequences. The only consequences I had was like the apologize text in the morning. Like, I'm sorry
about all the stuff I may have said.
Those were mine.
I would once in a while have those where you see somebody at high school like the Monday and you're like, hey, and then they don't speak at all and you're like, okay,
what did I say to them?
I didn't even know they were at the party. But they were there. You can just tell by that face that was Smiling Friday. The Smiling Friday face turned into the Monday, I don't want to ever speak to you again face. And then it would like take you a while to piece it together. Like you'd be in a class and you'd be like, oh fuck, she was there.
But I don't think I can drink it that much anymore. And I like weed better now. But like I was at that show last night. I had one cider and one vodka soda. And I was like, my tummy hurts like this. And I don't like this.
I went to
I think I overdrank.
I went to like a keys party where it's like back in the early days of not drinking and driving.
Oh,
no, not fucking no.
It was like it was like you just said that so casually. Like what were they doing in Fort Saskatchewan?
It was like some weird. It was like a girl whose uncle had died from drinking and driving.
Oh, so like everyone put their keys.
So she's like, everybody put your keys in the bowl. Nobody's fucking driving.
Yeah.
But then I knew that later people would be driving, so I like hid all their keys.
Oh no!
So I took all the keys out of the bowl and hid them like around the house, and I left.
Oh my God, Sean, you're.
And then people are like, "You fucking idiot! You took my fucking keys!" And I'm like, "Oh, you were gonna drive? Were you gonna drive? Oh, you were gonna drive, were you? Because you were fucking trashed. Like I was just following safety protocols and making sure that you didn't. I just saved your fucking life." But yeah, people were mad because of course all of them were gonna drive. Like they put their keys in the bowl. Like, I'll see you at 10:30, keys. See you at 11:45, keys.
That'd be funny if somebody showed up at that party and they misunderstood the key party and they like put their keys in and then just get naked.
Off in a closet. They're like, why is he jerking off in a closet? I thought this was a different party. I picked up these keys. Like, I'm not fucking you because you're holding my keys, said the girl at the party. Oh no.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
What's the weirdest place you ever like woke up? Like after drinking, what is the weirdest, like where you're like, you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm here. What the fuck?
You know what? I'm quite good at getting myself home. Like that's happened to me before. Like I was in Halifax once and like, you know, you stay at the Westin when you did the Yuck Yucks there. And I was out one night and one of the bartenders was a comic and he was just giving me Jaeger shots. And I was like, I had to leave. Like I blacked out. But then I woke up and I was like in my hotel room and I was like, good for you, Kathleen. You did it. You made it home. Like at least I can stumble my way home. I don't know how to like, I don't like.
Or you were placed there by a predator.
I don't like waking up.
No, yeah. I mean, I guess I was the weirdest place I ever woke up because nobody ever was trying to fuck me. So I never woke up.
So it was a bed.
I never fell asleep. I never fell asleep on a lawn and then was lifted up by a girl and taken to a bed. So I just woke up in the place I actually fell asleep sometimes. And it was sometimes on a front lawn. There was a couple where I woke up on a front lawn where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
That's funny.
No blanket, just a hoodie and wet back from the dew. My back's wet from the dew. I'm sleeping on a lawn.
When I went to Cuba with like Meyerhog and Carrie Unger, we went with Cody. He used to be the manager at Yucks.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's family and his girlfriend's brother was like, he was like this like 8. I think he was just 18 and he was like a ginger. He looked like Slash. Like his hair was all like Slash hair, like curly, but it was red. And he was just like the funniest kid ever. But I think this was like the first time he'd ever been able to drink and stuff. And they found him like in a fountain one morning. Like he went out and he just I
was trying to get my $1 back. I threw it in and I said, please don't let me puke. And then I puked. So I was like, I'm getting that fucking money back. My dream didn't come true from the well.
Yeah,
and then he drowned.
Like that. Yeah, I don't think I've woken up and.
Thank God it was a shallow fountain.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of those deep fountains.
No, he was just like sitting in water.
He
but
drowned
you can't
in a
drown
bird bath.
2 inches of water.
You can drown in 2 inches of water.
Yeah.
You can drown in 2 inches of dick if you play it right. I feel like that's your pickup line.
Mine?
No, I mean a guy's.
If you play your cards, you can drown in 2 inches of dick.
Is he saying he has 2 inches of dick that he's proud of? Like, yeah. The other 9 are worthless.
I think if you have a 2-inch dick, you need to do that as yours. You just have to make it confident sounding. Hey, you want to drown in 2 inches of dick?
Yeah, you just pretend that you're better at eating pussy than guys with big dicks. That's the little dick guy move. Like, oh, but I can eat a pussy. Like, yeah, guys with big dicks also know how to eat pussy. You know why? Because they get more pussy and they eat it more. You know what I mean? You're an out of practice, small dicked pussy eater.
Oh my
God. You know what I
God.
mean? You're just like, ugh, you're just doing your stupid thing.
The best thing I ever heard was my friend, was with this guy who said that he had lessons in pussy. He went and took lessons, and then they hooked up, and then someone asked them, like, so how was it? And she said he should get a refund.
Yeah.
Lessons.
Yeah.
What lessons?
No, I mean, just
Is it like a bunch of dudes like sitting in a classroom and like Paul's feet is up front telling them how to eat a pussy?
Yeah, I don't understand it either, because it's like, how bad are you at it that you think you need lessons? Somebody's telling you like, what the fuck are you doing down there?
Yeah.
Who taught you to do that? Like, nobody. It's just my freestyle move. I'm just making my own shit up. Like, well, you need to fucking get a book. Like, all right, I guess I'll find a pussy eating class. I wonder if I can get a PhD in it. Not without doing the thesis of actually eating pussy, and you'll never get over that hurdle. Why would you ever put yourself in that, like, oh, by the way, I've taken pussy eating classes?
Like,
I would just do it.
I think that they told that because they thought it was sexy, but it's actually quite lame.
Yeah, it's weird.
Lame.
I went to a class to learn how to suck dick. Like, oh, okay. Like a pottery class? Like, you know, it sounds mechanical. Now it's like, I don't really like doing this, but I took a class to learn.
Because I was curious on...
Yeah, I'm cockphobic. Please find the other word for that so I don't have to say cock. Oh, well. Do you have any big shows coming up this weekend?
Nothing this weekend.
Nothing.
I'm so excited.
What time?
Oh, we've got
have
those.
we talked too long?
I don't know. Nope.
No? What time is
Jim's
it?
like, you've only talked for
How long have we
2
been doing this?
Like almost 45.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
fucking. You
nothing.
got way more time to fucking talk. So you don't have any shows. I'm going to be at the Calgary.
Oh,
Yuck
I saw
Yucks.
that. Yeah. That's fun.
Calgary Yuck Yucks.
I liked your poster. It was very good.
Yeah, no, I'm making my own posters.
Shane Lecombre.
Shane Lecrombine.
Yeah. I like it.
It confused no one. No one was like, that isn't Shane Lecrombine. That's Sean Lecombe. Nobody said that. They were just like, that's Shane Lecrombine, I suppose.
And he's making $20,000 this weekend.
Shared no times. No shares. 0 shares. 3 likes. It's a tough life.
That's why I hate like putting things out there because then they're like, oh, yay, why am I doing this?
Yeah. I don't know. I just do it because it's like, I guess I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Yeah,
but
it's like, I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You know? Because I used to live in a world where I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, hey, you're not doing any... like, oh, yeah, I don't do that.
Are you going to join TikTok?
No. But like, I just would tell people I don't do that. And then that kind of became like, well, that's not really acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really say
Yeah.
you're coming to my venue, but you're not posting it on social media. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really get away with that anymore.
But if somebody, I had some guy who was like, oh, okay, I need you to post like every day, 30 days leading up. I'm like, no, like I'm not inundating my followers that I'm holding on to by a thread with a bunch of
Spam
posters
ads.
for me going to
Hey,
Pincher Creek, Alberta.
yeah, you know
right?
that place 900 kilometers from your house? I'm going there. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're going there every fucking day with this shit.
I know, like I'll do it like once or twice, but like I'm not gonna share every day. Like God,
I like it when people
weird.
make up their own program. Like, I think I'm going to ask her to do it 3 times a day. Hi there. I
Yeah,
just need you to
it's
post 3 times a
weird.
day about the show you have coming up. Like, no. I don't think you understand. I don't care about being there. I don't care about being there. You know that, right? You care about me being there. I want you to post the fuck out of it.
Yeah, post
I
it
would
every
never
day.
hold you back
No.
from posting about this event and me being there.
But
as
it's also
often as
like
you
that
fucking
person
want.
must think I suck because they must think I only have like one show this month. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's like, I don't know. These are my personal pages. Not like I give a fuck. But it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't personally fucking care to go to your place.
yeah.
So this is where I am as a person. My person doesn't care that I'm going to where you are. I would recommend you post the fuck out of it because I'm getting paid at a level of somebody who's not posting.
Yeah.
I just need you to take the base amount and then do work. We don't pay anybody less than we're paying you.
I wonder.
We need you to go above and beyond on the promotion of this thing.
Do you think we'll ever start making more money? You know what I mean? Like the rates of pay have not gone up since I started. I'm sure they haven't gone up since you started. Like for like the clubs and stuff.
No,
they're actually gone down because you have less shows.
Yeah, there's fewer shows, and you're older, so you're tired and stuff. Your neck hurts.
I think you make less money now as a club comic in Canada than you did like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and it's not like you're, I think back then it would be like the beginning would have been cool. Because the beginning of stand-up in Canada was the only time where you could be like an anonymous, unknown, nobody knows who the fuck you are comedian and still be like revered. It's like, wow, like one of those, there's like fucking 25 people in the country who can do this thing.
Yeah.
And you're one of them. You're part of this special crew. By the time we came along, it's like,
just
about anybody can do this.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people that can fucking do this. So there was no like special, and we do know from like looking at the history of Canadian comedy that those guys thought they were the machine. Like they thought they were fucking like, we are rock stars. And they weren't. They were just at Yuck Yucks.
They were just doing it.
Yeah. But they thought like, we're the builders.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I guess so. Like maybe. I don't think so.
But like comics back then were able to buy homes eventually and stuff.
It wasn't like their special talent is what made it big. It was big and getting big. It was going to be big.
You got it at a good time.
Yeah, you got in at the right time, the ground floor, just like an early Apple investor who's counting his cash now. The guy who bought Bitcoin off the streets in Vancouver in 2007. But it doesn't mean you're special. Yeah. That's my take on it.
You just got lucky. Like I said earlier, it's all about luck.
You got to be good looking too. You got to be really hot. Really hot.
Oh, God,
you got to be so hot.
I mean, maybe to make Nikki Glaser style money, but...
I don't need that. I don't need those gigs.
I do.
I don't. Oh God. I'll just open for you or something.
Yes, that's what I've always wanted. The only reason why I really wanted to get super successful was to be able to be like, oh no, I'm going on the road and I'm taking this person with me. Because when I worked with Russell Peter, it was so much fun. He was just like surrounded by his friends and like, and not in a yes man way. I didn't feel.
No, because you're making so much money that you can be like, hey, guess what? Like I got $78,000 for that. I might as well give you two.
Like if
I take two and you can have two.
If I got to do all these theaters and stay in nice hotels, I'd be like, yeah, Sean, come with me. This is gonna be fun. It's like we've worked so hard and now we get to have fun.
And then 4 years later, I'd be like, yeah, she's up on the top one. I'm down here. Adam handles her numbers, and he booked me at a different hotel now. So now I'm not even at the same fucking hotel as McGee. She makes $130,000 fucking dollars a show, and I get $9,000.
Money does corrupt people, though, because like it's so hard
I'd
to
be
be
making $9,000 a show, and I'd still be like $130,000, $9,000. Did you see the show tonight?
Yeah.
Some people said I was better. Yeah, but it was filled with McGee fans. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's what comedians forget when they're like, I'm on this show with this person who sold it out and I didn't get as much. Like, no shit. Because if he wasn't there, nobody would have fucking been there. Like, you would have gotten fucking 2% of nothing.
Yeah. No, it just is like that's like what would be fun. It's just being able to tour with your friends and like not worry about money and just like have a good time.
And I wish it was like half filled all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not forget masks. We can lose masks, but like the spacing, like keep the spacing stuff.
I'm sure the waitresses love the spacing too. Like it's probably been great
unless
for them.
They have children and they need the tips, and then they're like, oh great, look at all these empty seats are bad. These empty seats aren't tipping at all.
Oh, they do. Tipping is done for a while, but until what do you think about Edmonton keeping the mask bylaw and everybody else in Alberta is not? Even in BC, someone said in Vancouver they're not even wearing masks anymore.
Really? So the Edmonton guy said we're doing it.
No, we're keeping it. We're doing a survey, and on March 7th we'll tell you the results of the survey. So we'll let the people make the decision for. Like it's just fucking like, just get rid of the fucking mask. And if you want to wear a mask, like go ahead. And if anybody harasses anybody for wearing a mask, that person is a piece of shit. But like I'm tired of wearing. Like what is it? It's not gonna do anything anymore, and I have all my vaccinations that you asked me to get, and I've done everything you've asked me to do, and I'm tired of wearing a mask, and I don't want to look like one of those truck people because I'm not, but I am sick of the fucking masks.
I'm not in the truck. I'm on the flatbed behind them.
The only people that have to deal with it are like minimum wage workers.
Mm-hmm.
No politicians ever have to have somebody yell at them because they're in a McDonald's without a mask on. But some 16-year-old kid that's making the bare minimum is going to have to listen to it.
Excuse me, sir. You have to. I'm not fucking.
Yeah.
Especially now, right? I mean, even now, I can see when I go to places, there's way more people that are just like,
I'm not doing it.
I'm not wearing a mask. Period. Like, when does the mask thing for the province lift?
Well, the province was today.
Oh, so you don't have to wear them anymore at all starting today?
In Alberta, but in Edmonton you do.
Oh, okay.
Edmonton, you still have to wear the mask. And businesses can decide for themselves if they don't. It's a bylaw. It's not a law. So if they don't want to do it, that's up to them. But
yeah, and Kenny's going to try to strike it down or whatever.
Well,
I think I heard that.
It is more left and right fighting. Like, we're liberal politicians in power in the city, and we're gonna make you look bad.
We're
like,
more
it's just like, could
yeah.
you just do stuff for people and not to make your party side look good? Like, I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of the left being like, well, this is never going away. We're gonna have to always do this, and it's just like, you guys, like, let's get to the middle.
Municipal politics, I guess, like mayor stuff, that's sort of different, I guess, just because he's not really like a liberal or a conservative. Like, I'm sure he is, but he does. I don't know if he represents a party.
No, they don't represent parties, but of course their ideals.
But he's
are
obviously
like
a progressive.
Oh yeah,
he's
definitely.
Just, like so, and he's like, hey, I was elected, but he lives in Edmonton, so it's going to be tough.
Well, yeah, because and politicians don't care about people because they'll do whatever it is to not lose votes, right? So he has all the votes of these liberal people that are like, yes, we should be wearing masks until we die. And then people are like, well, what about vulnerable? What about this? I'm like, well, then wear a mask. Like, no one is saying you can't wear a mask anywhere, but I'm just not wearing a mask anymore. Like, I'm protecting you by getting all my vaccines. That's what I did. And I know there's people out there that don't have that and still want to be unmasked, but if you're really that concerned, wear a mask by all means.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just like, okay, there is a time limit, right?
Yeah.
It's like
2 years. We're at 2 years now.
If Omicron was worse than Delta, then we'd be like, oh, fuck, here we are, and we would just stay there, right?
Yeah.
If it was like, oh, sorry, Delta killed 1 out of 100 people, looks like Omicron kills 2 out of 100 people, then we would still be in a world.
Yeah.
As soon as people started hearing, like, Omicron's not as
like
bad
a cold
as Delta.
or a flu,
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we are double vaccinated. We have our boosters.
Yeah.
Omicron is the endemic variant. This is the variant that's going to be with us for years and years and years. And so what are we fighting for at this point where we are dealing with the endemic variant? Like, now what are we? So it's harder for people like us to be like, I should put a mask on or I should do whatever because...
Oh, it's Lisa Baker.
Okay, let's wrap it up with this then.
Hello, Lisa Baker. You're on the air.
You're live.
What kind of a psycho doesn't prefer an uncut?
See?
Me?
I was right.
What kind of a psycho prefers uncut?
Kathleen said that no girl would prefer like an uncircumcised penis, and then I brought your name into it immediately.
Yeah, no, I'm team uncircumcised for sure.
It's so weird, and then you're always like, oh, is it gonna be cheesy? Because you never know.
Cheesy?
Well, it's true.
Yeah, so in Newfoundland they don't cut men just because like it doesn't happen, and even if you ask, they won't do it.
Really?
Wow.
So the first time I ever saw one was in Newfoundland, but I've only seen like maybe 2 in Newfoundland. I've seen more out here, and I've seen a lot in Newfoundland. And I'm going to tell you, that is really uncommon. But also, too, like, that was normal for us. So when I saw one that wasn't, I was like, oh, my God, what happened to you? Like, was there anything? Like, did you have a disease? Or is it just, like, one of those weird birth defects? Like, what is going on?
Flesh-eating disease.
Wow, so you never quite get over the penis.
I've never seen one that was dirty.
Okay, well, lucky you. The quality of men are better than mine.
Yeah.
Kathleen only fucks lint dicks.
I've never.
Well, I'm glad you called us back so we could settle this live on air. We should have Lisa as a guest. Lisa,
so now we should do a poll or something, like find out who prefers that.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Lisa can't be the only one.
Well, and the other thing is, too, and this the other thing for me, too, is like, I think men are beautiful as God made them.
Oh, right? Shut up, Mother Earth. Shut up, Mother Earth. Oh, my God.
Well, Lisa, because Lisa, you've done a bunch of shows where you talk about it and stuff, like probably once in a while. But do you ever have girls come up to you and say, like, I agree with you that they're way better when they're not cut?
I feel like there's a lot of women that do, but it's not like, it's starting to swing the other way, of course, but
because less people are believing in God.
Because like women will say, like, for a long time, everyone, like in Newfoundland, of course, people say caught or wrong caught. We're like, what are you even talking about? Like, it's not a thing, right? Where we debate it. But like out here, of course, you get both, and more so caught. And I think, like, you know, if it's definitely like what you're used to, that kind of a way. But I think like women who want to say they prefer it uncaught won't, because people are like, that's disgusting. Oh my God, you're so gross. But people will say they think like, oh, we should not mutilate the males when they're born. But then they'll turn around and say they won't date a guy who's not caught, right? So it's just kind of weird. But I think there's more women that do prefer but won't speak up and say so.
Oh, sure, they're just shy.
Well, we'll do an anonymous
poll.
Those
shy cock gobblers.
We'll do an anonymous poll.
I'm afraid of all the people that are going to tell them they're gross. It's like, oh, it's so dirty. It's so nasty. You're gross.
It just also, I'm this might sound gross as well, but whenever you're like, it's like kind of like sucking on a balloon. You know, like it gets that little like.
Well, see, here's the difference for me.
You have to work harder with your lips, don't you?
When there's a turtleneck and you're using your hand, like it feels like you're getting somewhere. You know what I mean? But if there's no turtleneck, then it just feels like you're, you know, jerking off a banister, like you're like Henry at best. You know what I mean? So I think you're better off.
I think that we should pitch this as a debate for the debaters.
They should do a dirty debaters. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
CBC Radio 10.
That would be. They would never. That would be.
I'm gonna like message them tonight.
All the jokes and the puns and.
Oh
my God.
That we would have to try to like that'd be funny if we could do it, but try to make it clean, which is almost impossible. But
why wouldn't they do? I should talk to.
That would be funny.
I should talk to them about doing like a dirty debaters.
Yeah, do it as a tour. That'd be fun.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it's not like Steve Patterson would say no.
Dirty debaters. Yeah, we should. We're getting ideas here.
Yeah, this is an ideas machine.
We need to have you on as a guest at some point because you're helping us with our weekly idea.
There you go.
We'll do it.
Come on as a guest. I'd love to.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, thank you for calling and settling that bet and clearing everything up.
No worries. Anytime.
Thank you. We love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Like she's like, no time listener, first time caller. Like, never heard your podcast. Let's talk. Let's do some straight talk. Like she just talked to you like it was just like
that's
nothing,
the best part about it is she was very matter of fact. She wasn't trying to make a joke about it. She's like, no. I'm serious. That would be hilarious though to do a debate on circumcised or not circumcised. Dirty debaters, I think, would be a fun.
Yeah.
That could be like part of the marketing, but like I think that'd be funny to tour that. But
yeah, they would probably be like, we thought of that in 1999, idiot. Like, I had this idea, like, oh, you mean the one that we had the second day, the second we invented it. We came up with the idea of the debaters the second day we were like, should we do this dirty? That was how quick that happened.
I still do want to do a circumcised, uncircumcised debate.
Well, I guess we'll shut her down.
I'm going to pitch it out to them.
Shut this fucking podcast down. We'll do another one later.
We'll do another one at another time.
Don't try to pin us down.
Well, it's true because we're like on yesterday we were at Jim and I were at a show and Jim's like, oh, are we taping this week? And I'm like, I guess I don't know. Whenever.
I don't know. This month maybe we'll do
we're
it.
We're really hardworking, committed individuals.
We'll
is what we're saying.
We'll start doing it once a year. Dead Baby Bear, the annual comedy podcast,
and we put it on Patreon, and it's $100.
100. Yeah, imagine somebody like waiting fucking 364 days. They're like, you know what? I've lived 364 days this year without it. I've got quite used to living without it. I'm not paying $100 fucking dollars.
I'm gonna start asking for $20,000 a weekend.
Just throw it out
it's
there.
$20,000 now. You got me. You're
I
a
just
better
like
negotiator.
negotiating. I like haggling. All right. Well, thanks for being on this podcast.
Thank you for joining us.
On my podcast. Do you think the misogyny stuff was too far? The girls have to fight too?
No, was
that too much?
I said that last week. I said that is when.
Sorry for stealing your idea.
No, it's not. But I'm like, but that is when feminism is I'm not a feminist anymore. So when they're like, hey, go put a gun on, I'm like, oh, no, I'm a lady. I can't.
You've been drafted.
I don't want to break a nail. And
drafted.
That's when I become a 1950s housewife.
Yeah, it's like, well, come over here, Kathleen. Line up for the girl draft.
Oh, I need to go make my husband a sandwich and smile while I'm doing it.
Sorry, but I have to make my husband and children food and then pay all the bills.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Organize a birthday party. Good idea. All right. Well, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jim.